What is hope? To quote a wise man, hope is all you have left when everything else is taken. Hope is your greatest tool and is, in fact, your greatest power. So I beg of you, who would you say is the definition of hope? Personally, I would say Jiraiya. From a random teacher, master, and father figure to the symbol of hope. I'll dive into Jiraiya's character and try to decipher why he works. My name's Talon Talks, and let's get into it. Naruto was born not knowing his parents, not knowing friends, not knowing peace, not knowing hope. Jiraiya was there and gave him a chance to attain hope in any way possible, because Jiraiya's belief is that generosity comes from one's pain. Jiraiya was introduced as a wacky individual, and he was strange, and there was no other like him, simply for how unserious he was. But why was he made this way? To match Naruto's energy. I suppose that you could say that Naruto and Jiraiya were destined to be student and mentor. Jiraiya was one of the 3 legendary seinen, but where better to start than the beginning, than the Chunin exams? Later in the arc, they meet Tsunade. Yeah. Now this was because they were searching for the 5th Hokage, who Jiraiya decided should be Tsunade. And before this, Tsunade had met Orochimaru, who made her a deal. One that she simply could not refuse. I mean, how could she? This trade offer was one in which, if Tsunade healed Orochimaru, he would give her one last chance to talk to her lover and younger brother. Soon after this, Jiraiya walks up to her to tell her something. And what did he tell her? Jiraiya, yet never being in the village, tells Tsunade that he will kill her if she betrays the village. Now, there's a multitude of reasons he does this. One reason being, he's already had one ally betray the village, so obviously, if the second one does the same, they will probably bring the same pain to the Leaf Village as Orochimaru. He still cares for the Leaf Village, but why? Which brings us on to his second reason. He wants peace for his home. He wants peace for the world. That's who Jiraiya is. Jiraiya is exactly like Naruto, which is a pattern with the legendary seinen. Tsunade and Sakura, Sasuke and Orochimaru, Jiraiya and Naruto. It is all a cycle of chaos. But was this on purpose? I believe so. In fact, I know so. And if you've read this, you should believe that it was as well. Naruto's goal is to attain peace, and to protect Leaf Village by becoming the Hokage, and the strongest ninja in that village. Jiraiya wants to protect the village, protect the world, and bring it hope, and bring it peace that it never knew. Shortly after Sasuke left the Leaf Village, Jiraiya believes that Sasuke will not change, because he cannot, because he willingly went to Orochimaru. He believes that Sasuke is incapable of change, but believes that the world can. This is because Jiraiya knew that pain. From when Orochimaru took that piece away from a village already struggling with it, it was a personal betrayal he could not get over. Jiraiya believes Sasuke was destined to leave, much like how Orochimaru before him did so, much like how Itachi did so, much like how Obito, Madara, and many others I've stated throughout this video. The cycle of chaos. This cycle had been brewing in many. It was seemingly bound by fate that they were to turn their backs on the Leaf Village. And whether Jiraiya knew about them or not, it was all bound by one thing: fate. Creating a never-ending cycle of chaos, one that bled from Jiraiya to Naruto. Jiraiya versus Pain. Jiraiya's battle with Pain was a fight that struck all the boxes. Meaning, resemblance, choreography, pacing. It was one of the greatest fights of all time. But let me focus in on that first word. Meaning. Meaning in a fight is everything. Why does he strike? Is it with killing intent? If so, why? If not, why not? This battle, however, was more of a spoken one. It was one of Jiraiya's hope versus Pain's cynicism. It was ultimately a great battle, one of minds and morale, with the action somehow taking second place to the words spoken. He asked what happened to Yahiko, but he died. And now all that's left is Pain. Does Pain mean this in the metaphorical sense, figurative sense, or literal sense? And no matter which one, pain from what? Loss. People hurt people, nations attack nations, killers kill killers, and not a damn thing is solved while many of those lives falter and perish. Jiraiya understands pain and what comes from it. Much like I've said earlier, generosity comes from pain. which creates generosity towards others, and pain always generates an understanding. However, what went wrong to lead Yahiko to become pain? What led him from point A to point B? Giving up. Yahiko gave into his pain, gaining the name and bringing the world such pain to change them. Bars. He only knew a life of pain, one that brought no good luck to him, no fortune to him, no love nor life, and that broke him down. But then the worst possible thing happened.
Don't do it!
Hurry up! Do you want this woman to die?
Yahiko died. This was never Yahiko. When he said that Yahiko died and all that's left now is pain, he meant it literally. When Yahiko died, that too was the death of the Akatsuki. That too was the rebirth of the Akatsuki, and that generated something in the remaining members, Nagato and Konan. Nagato had to make the decision to either kill Yahiko or Konan. Such a decision with no good outcome, one with pain on both sides. And what decision was made? Nagato killed Yahiko, but Yahiko sacrificed himself to bring peace to this conflict. But what Nagato felt was disdain, a hatred, one for the world that had taken his friend, and one for Hanzo who had forced it. When honoring his fallen comrade, he possessed his body, making him the face of the Akatsuki, like Nagato viewed him before, making him too the face of pain. And once more, the cycle continues. One of a never-ending chaos and a lack of hope, all generated from one giving into his pain. Jiraiya told him to reflect on pain and to come to his own answers, but the death of Yahiko gave him an answer which wasn't intended. His answer was worth nothing. That's the difference between Nagato and pain. With Jiraiya, there was a slight hope for a cycle of peace, one that he brought forward, one that may end with Nagato, but that entire intention fell when Nagato decided to take the life of Jiraiya. So, it's this part of the video that I decipher. What makes a shinobi who they are? Jiraiya believes that it isn't their life, but what they've accomplished before death. His life is full of failure. Rejected by Tsunade, unable to stop his friend, failing to protect his master and disciple. He wishes to have died like the Hokage. But what happened throughout this? His perseverance through hope. His hope never died out, no matter what. Through thick and thin, through good and bad times, Jiraiya kept pushing to achieve his goal. He went out trying to accomplish his dream, which is a poetic message to the audience. No matter what, don't stop fighting. Is it hard? Don't stop. Is it easy? Don't stop. Even on the brink of death, holding on by a thread, don't stop. And even in death, he died with a smile on his face, wondering if Naruto was the shinobi who would bring great peace and change to the world, like Jiraiya was told years ago in his youth. Jiraiya's hope is one that cannot be stripped from him. Even when he looked upon Nagato and realized what he had done, he still had hope that one day, that one might come to bring peace. That one might come to help all others. That one might come to stop the Akatsuki. As a child, Nagato watched his parents die. He's watched many people die. He's watched his allies and friends pass on. And my question is that if you went through what Nagato went through, would you be able to come out on the other side with any hope? If not, you might be asking something. So what is this hope Jiraiya has, and what does it mean? This hope means fighting when the road gets tough. It means running when you could simply be walking. It means that you should always crawl to the top. Nagato's pain is understandable. We can, in fact, empathize with this villain. His pain euthanized his hope and made him mentally weak. But Naruto ultimately gets through to him. And with a few words, Nagato brings back the entire village, bringing Jiraiya's goal closer to fruition. All Nagato saw was a never-ending cycle of chaos, killing all in its wake. Nagato never gave up on changing the world, but his motive changed. What he wanted changed. who he was changed. He had wanted to find peace and end the cycle, and he gave in to the pressure. He gave in to the lack of hope and wanted those around him to know pain, to create generosity and generate peace. But Naruto, unlike Pain, believes and will always believe in Jiraiya's belief. This belief being the hope of a better world, the hope of a great village, the hope of a strong Hokage, the hope of peace. This video may have seemed short, but one thing is for certain. Jiraiya's story does not end with Jiraiya, but Jiraiya's legacy does not end with Jiraiya. However, his legacy lives on within Naruto. And with that, Jiraiya's legacy can be summed up in a multitude of ways, but there are a few words that do the job perfectly. Give up on making me give up. My name's Talon Talks. Thank you for watching.